Welcome back for our next match of the day, where the fans have spoken in the MasterCard fan predictions, and in a close race, Team Secret pulled ahead with a 52% of the vote at home. And I think it's about right here, TJ, because this is going to be a pretty epic match between two closely contested teams.
First of all, I told you they would. Nobody believed me, but yes, of course Team Secret are going to win an online poll. Second of all, yes, this is a very close match, and I think a real litmus test for Sengoku, who are coming into this still kind of unproven.
All right, well, we'll get your predictions in just a little bit, Araki, so let's hop right into the segment. Now, when we take a look in this matchup here, we want to look at the standings and see that this is crucial for both teams as they eye a spot in the knockouts. That could be scary for Sengoku, who will have to go up against a Team Secret that seems to have shored up their drafting weaknesses. And so when we talk about that, what does that mean? Because now they're bringing in substitutes. So drafting for players that you've never prepared against seems like it's going to be very difficult here, TJ.
Yeah, there's a massive shift for Team Secret as they are going to be pulling in Code, who is a player who has played previously with this roster in the PPGL, which is the Philippines Regional League. But Caster Riku came in with the deep cut knowledge, and that is 2 splits ago, the last time that Code played on this roster. So I don't know what's going on behind the scenes. I assume that there is a good reason. I assume that they wouldn't be doing this unless it was the best option. But it is going to throw them off. Tatsuri is a huge star for Team Secret, and missing that power in the middle of the map is going to hurt them.
Araki?
Yeah, I think right off the bat, we're getting to see some really big keys on the map that teams can abuse. It's the top lane for Team Secret, with Azar being such a phenomenal player, now playing against the substitute. And on the other hand, we have highlighted hack and rush and synergy around the mid lane. And again, they have a substitute to play against and possibly snowball the game off of. So there might be a very clear distinction in where the teams are going to be playing through the map, and that might influence the outcome drastically.
Well, here is Mochi talking after yesterday's matchup in his game.
グループステージを突破するために負けられないマッチだったんで、何としても勝ってくれって感じですね。
Brilliant performance from them. They absolutely came back in style over these last 2 games, and they will take the Nexus. Deservedly the winners here. I think they absolutely were the better team from the outset.
ずっと緊張してるし、そういう張り詰めた糸みたいないう緊張感が結構好きですね。今大会は1位を狙いに行くっていうよりも、世界にどこまで通用するかで、その来年しっかりと勝ち上がっていけるために。
I like that. He's saying we're not playing for first, we're playing to see where we're at in the world. And I think if you are that great and your purpose is just to test your mettle, that alleviates a lot of the pressure that teams feel in international events, TJ.
It's kind of the anime story of,
exactly.
I just want to see if I'm the best.
Yeah, that's kind of what it feels like, Araki, right?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a very realistic expectation coming in. And even though they did surpass expectations, it's going to get harder and harder from this point on. So for a team to have this mentality and not be knocked down when they do lose, and instead just worry about improving the experience they gain in, I think it's a really good mentality and an outlook to have.
Well, one way it's going to affect things, the mentality of things, is the draft. And so we've highlighted Team Secret's draft before, Araki. How is this going to compare against Sengoku?
Yeah, I think there's a dynamic here that we should definitely be paying attention to, and that Team Secret are really, really smart with their drafts, and they usually target very specific players to squeeze out their champion pools. Something like we saw yesterday with Acolyte and Azar, where they allowed Azar to run away wild with the games, with the Fiora, and then highlight on top of it the fact that Rush does seem to have a little bit of a small hero pool, where the Lee Sin is a big prio, the Graves is another big prio, but if he doesn't have those, he goes back to the Nunu and becomes more of a utility jungler for his team. So that dynamic in particular, where Team Secret are really smart in draft and Sengoku Gaming have limited champion pools, it can play a big factor.
I will say, though, there are limited champion pools, and we're playing in a game that only has 3 bans. And I do not see a world in which they exhaust all of Hark's potential in the pick ban. I do not see a world in which Rush is completely out of picks. He still has that Vi that he is an all-star on, that he hasn't even had to pull out at this tournament. I think it is very reasonable, especially with the substitute, to put the focus on Sengoku's mid lane, their mid-jungle duo, to dominate this match.
Rocky?
And on top of it, we do have Machi coming in. So he did show the Darius before. It didn't even look that good. But how deep does his champion pool run is a question that they have not answered yet. So one really easy approach that I can already see for Team Secret is to ban out Darius or play the Fiora into it and have a huge advantage in the top side of the map.
I will say, though, Araki, I have a little bit of an inside scoop. I was talking to Dagger, who is one of the casters over on the Japanese broadcast, not just for this tournament, but for the regional league as well. And he showed me the secret strats, the secret comparisons.
Okay.
There it is right here. Sengoku's mid laner hack. And maybe a guy that you might know from League of Legends PC show mix.
They've got the same eyes.
The crazy eyes.
It's the intensity, the killer instinct that puts you over the line.
Well, I love the fact that you had the opportunity to talk with the casters, because this is truly a global game. A friend of mine from back in the Philippines messaged me saying, hey, I'm supporting Team Secret as well. So it's time to get ourselves into the game right now. Grandin, Omo, take it away. Get us into this very important match.
It's a global game, but they've all come together here in Singapore at the Suntec Convention Center to play in the Horizon Cup. I'm Brandon, with me is Omo. Let's get this thing going. We're going to Champ Select soon. Sengoku up against Team Secret, a matchup that will determine the standings of Group B and where things are going to keep progressing.
Yeah, it's going to be a really exciting one for me because I think right now in Group B, both of these teams, they are contesting to second. Who's going to get out second? You're not going to get the bye, but you're competing for a spot to, face off against the third place seed.
Team Secret immediately get out, by the way. If they win this match, they are done. They will get through into the knockout stage. They just need this next one.
My man's got the stats here, right? I love to see it. And Sengoku, I love to see this bend from them as well. Code's a player who didn't play much with Team Secret in the recent splits, but he is known for the stat. It's one of his premier picks. Get rid of that. Get rid of Azar's Fiora. I completely get that. His performance yesterday was kind of nasty.
He had a bunch of different showings in the C Championship, right? He had some good moments on the Fiora, on the Akali, stuff like that. Akali, we just saw a game where it was played for Roster Y. Do you think there's a chance that Azar might want to go for that again?
It's very possible, but I think the Akali matchup is something that's very niche, and you really need to see certain specific picks before you pick that one up. So I don't want to get too in-depth there until we see a likely situation for it. I do want to touch on the roster swaps really quickly, though. Code, he didn't get played much. Maybe this is just Team Secret giving him a game, but I'm more inclined to believe they have a strat prepared here. I'm interested to see what he's going to last pick in this game, and Mochi as well. This man showed off his chops yesterday. Didn't do too great. He kind of got, benched up for one game. It hurts to say, but I hope he can pull off a better performance here today.
Sengoku going back to the Zig, something that has been working for them incredibly well up until this point. Team Secret making a very good decision to ban away that Nunu. Rush's signature pick at this point, and his other signature pick, that Lee Sin.
Yeah, I love this draft so far from Team Secret. You do give over the Ziggs, and the Varus is not the best situation into it, but you do match wave clear, poke, whatnot. I do like the Lee Sin pickup. You really choke out the champion pool of Rush, and I'm really interested to see what he has in response to this. Maybe a great pretty good pick because you do need him option.
Camille's going to lock in for Sengoku. That pairs very well along with the Ziggs having that Mega Inferno Bomb. And of course, Sengoku back towards one of the more premier support picks on their end. It's down to this Alistar. We saw its success the last time around, and this is the adaptation from Team Secret. Janna as a possible option that Monsoon could knock back that Alistar.
It is a Hamas special. This is a really great pick from him. Now, what can we expect from this Janna pickup? Two things. In lane, he's going to be dominant. He's going to bully the crap out of this Alistar. And in the mid game, he's going to deny engages. He's going to deny the Camille. He's going to deny the Alistar. And he's just playing spotted duty for Chu, Trevor, Azar. Let them shine.
And Code's going to pick up that Orianna likely for himself there, since we only see that Varus. Code coming into this competition, a couple of question marks being raised. We're still in the group stage, so things could still be flexible. Let's see what this Orianna spells for Team Secret. While Sengoku will pick up another regional favorite for their end is that Wukong.
That Wukong pick here, it is so amazing. This is something you commonly see against mobile carries. It's really good against these low mobility carries like Varus, and like Orianna, where you just get on top of them, you spin to win, and they can't do anything. The question is, the Janna is pretty good against the Wukong, so it's really, once again, down to Hamas to keep his teammates safe.
Interestingly enough, we get that Corki.
They need the marksman.
Both Hawk and One have played Corki and Ziggs before, so it could go in either end. A little bit difficult to say exactly where they're going to go, and I think that's the beauty of these matchups, these pickups, right?
Flexible picks.
Exactly. Even towards the last pick, you're not exactly 100% sure where things are going to end up going. So now down to Team Secret, still lacking that Baron laner, a lot of those options being banned out already.
Yeah, I like that they do know for sure it's going to be Camille top. And there we go. What are you going to counterpick a Camille with? Fiora is gone. Riven is not really the best counterpick.
It's banned as well.
Yeah, it's banned as well.
Yep.
So we go for the Jax. And this is something that we have seen to varying degrees of success, especially in the jungle. Earlier today, we saw the Jax picked up. I think the team that picked it, was it Queso? Correct me if I'm wrong. I think it was Queso, yes. Didn't play too well around it. When you have Jax, you want to make sure your jungle is perfect for the Jax lane. You want it to be safe. You want to make sure you can farm, you can scale. So what do you need? Stable lanes on the rest of the map. Varus, Janna, Orianna, you need just that. This Jax picked up, looking really good here for Team Secret.
I love that self-affirmation there, almost. It's like, was it Queso?
I just ran it through my head a little bit, just gotta make sure I'm right.
Okay, I'm not going to gaslight you. Yes, it was Queso. Queso played it in their second game. But we saw a lot of different threats available for the Jax as well. You know, there were some points where it looked like Acolyte was going to be able to make the Jax so much more impactful. But the Renekton was shut down this game. No Renekton, it's that Camille instead.
Yeah, and the thing is, the game where Acolyte put out the Jax, he was shut down so hard early game as well. He died, like TJ said, between his tier 1 and tier 2 turrets. And he still managed to make the Jax look good. So given, you know, what I expect from Team Secret this game, they're going to be playing around the Baron lane. They're going to put their focus, their eggs in the Azar basket, and I think we can expect to see him pop off here. So a lot of burden is going to be on Mochi. This guy did get subbed in once again. Can he pull it off? Can he withstand the bleeding?
Coming in with something with a lot of mobility as well. It's going to be an initiator. It's going to be someone that's going to follow up with the Alistar. Dejiwo has been consistently one to lead his team into these fights. But Team Secret, they love going for these. They love team fights. They love taking these exchanges.
Well, we say that, right? But this time around, Team Secret, their draft requires a little bit more discipline. You need a bit more finesse to pull this off.
I knew you were coming for that.
I love finesse, right? So it's all about the Varus being able to get the poke off, the Ori ball, control the zones, the Janna, the Tornado, the Monsoon. Just don't let them come into us and let Azar do his thing. Now, after his performance on Fiora yesterday, that triple kill, it's pretty nasty. I think we can expect to see him pull something pretty great out here again today.
A lot of expectations on Team Secret to make things happen, especially since they are sitting at 2-1. But Sengoku have come into this competition swinging. They dropped that one match earlier on against the Group B favorites, but now going into this one, they're continuing a chance at dominance. If they can get this win over Secret, then they could very well see themselves go into second seed. Let's start this thing off. Sengoku Gaming up against Team Secret.
It's going to be a pretty exciting one. If you look at the draft from both of these teams, they want to do kind of the same things, but kind of not really at the same time. If you look at the side of Sengoku, they can answer poke for poke. They can answer you in kind. You try to poke them with Ferris, Orianna. They have an answer. Ziggs, cocky missiles. They can fire back at you. But where the difference comes in is Team Secret's comp is highly focused on the split push, really focused on this disengage, whereas Sengoku, they have the option to go in as well. Camille from the left, Wukong from the right. You can't take a dragon fight against them.
And for all you people back at home joining us watching the Horizon Cup, feel free to log into your Prime Gaming account to get your random skin chest. I just did mine this morning.
There we go. I reminded you yesterday.
You did remind me. You reminded me on the last cast to go and get it done, so I went to go and get it done. So for all you guys back home, make sure to pick that one up. For now, let's take a look back towards the game and where things kind of stand. Azar's going to rotate down. This is very interesting to me.
The lane swap has come in, right? You do not want to lane your Alistar into a Varus Janna. You are going to get slaughtered. You're going to turn into, you know, roast beef. You don't want that at all. You need to find an answer, and Sengoku, I think they identified that perfectly. They found the right lane swap, and now Team Secret, they have an issue. I'll counterpick the Jax into Camille matchup. That's not happening anymore. So what do we do? And Azar, I think he's in a bit of a sticky situation right now.
And this is very interesting to me because both of the Scuttle Crabs are going to be spawning right now,
Yeah.
they're going to trade Scuttlecrafts on both sides, but it seemed for a moment that Sengoku seemed to have priority
Yeah, this is
over
really
both sides. They
dangerous.
might have been able to actually punish something there, maybe take away those additional Scuttlecrafts.
Yeah, this lane swap does two things. It punishes your strong point, and it alleviates our weak point. So Sengoku, they're really getting everything they could possibly want right now. They're threatening this dive on Azar. Hamas has to come up to keep him safe, and it looks like on the other side, Team Secret, they want to threaten the dive, but they're only on to Mochi. The 2 against 1 against Camille is not really a situation you want to take a fight.
And like you mentioned earlier on, Azar is going to be the guy that needs to shut down early on, to put the pressure on, make sure he's denied resources. Hamas is going to end up sharing some of that golden EXP. You can see Azar a little bit behind right now. He might be matched in gold, but his EXP is a little bit slow, even compared to Hamas here.
Yeah. I mean, the option that Team Secret went with, they went for the slow push. They wanted to crash the wave, maybe try to do something down in the bottom side of the map. I feel like that might not have been the best option because Azar suffers so much for it. Forced to share experience. He's going to be behind in gold as well. Sengoku, they correctly identify. They've crashed the wave. Now they want to swap back. What are we going to do? We're going to go ahead of them. We're going to preemptively swap away. And this is really amazing rotations coming in from Sengoku. I think they're answering in kind to every move that Team Secret make, and I think that Sengoku, they're really setting themselves up for success in this game 1.
And it's an interesting move from Sengoku now to go back to initial lanes, especially with the dragon spawning up. So it could be a sign that they want the dragon over the Rift Herald, not want to take that early fight.
Team Secret are just getting played on the map right now. Azar's going to be completely fine, but he's forced to swap again. And right now, Team Secret, they are just marching to the beat of Sengoku's drums. They're always one step behind. And the longer this goes on for, the happier Sengoku are. You dodge the Varus-Janna matchup, as well as you get your Camille out of the Jax lane. They couldn't be any happier, I think.
I really don't think they could. Sengoku have just been able to get everything they want. They get the reset timings, they get the items that they want. You can see Team Secret coming in now. They just lose all momentum in their own lanes.
Yes.
First objective to spawn, it's going to be that Ocean Drake. We see a little bit of priority around the dragon, but Sengoku, knowing this team, they're going to go straight for their Rift Herald. They're going to get the first one, they're going to get the second one, and Rush is going to break open that mid turret.
Yeah, I'm a bit curious about why Juan hasn't resetted yet. I feel like he could have gone for that a bit earlier here. It seems like what's going to happen right now, Team Secret, they have the priority with this dual lane matchup. They're going to use that, they're going to get control of the map, and they should be able to get the Rift Herald. Okay, I might be wrong here, but I'm assuming they don't want to contest this, and they're just going to try to trade to give the Cocky space and scale. But it seems like they want to fight this. I don't know what's going on right now, Brandon. I couldn't tell you. It seems like both of these teams are making some pretty odd choices here.
Looks like Azar just wants to scout the grounds. He doesn't want to commit to anything here.
Alright.
Low disadvantages to go for a fight.
I'm just really curious why Chewy and Hamas didn't come up to fight this Rift Herald. They knew that once reset was late, and they didn't manage to come here and get here in time to get control of that. This is going to mean an even harder time for Azar right now. They have the Rift Herald trapped in a dive. Hamas, though, always one step ahead of the play, keeping his Baron lane safe.
Code's going to come in as well. So that's actually a really key part of making sure that Azar gets the space that he needs to scale up and to be as strong as he wants to be. Sengoku actually missed that chance, so Juan's going to make a second recall back, pick up his item, the full Essence Reaver, before coming in. But if he at least had the package, or at least does have the package to help him get back in a little bit faster, but we see what happens here, where that single early mistimed recall kind of changed the tempo for Sengoku.
Honestly, I think Team Secret, they are getting red like a book here, and Sengoku's rotations around the map have been amazing. I cannot really criticize it at all. I think they're doing all the right things. They're checking all the right boxes that they need to check to get into the mid game, to get their champions where they want them to be. Team Secret, you really need to find something on the map right now. You do have the Jax late game insurance plan, but your Varus-Janna, your Lee Sin, you really want to get something.
So what does this put things? Sengoku looking for this mid game. Do they have the power to actually go for these fights, or is Team Secret going to have a fighting chance against the composition that Sengoku have drafted?
Well, it comes down to team fight modes, right? It comes down to how you execute on these team fights. If Team Secret, they can keep you at an arm's length. They don't let your Wukong come in. They don't let your Camille come in. They're gonna have a really good time. Now Sengoku, they too want to poke, but if they get on your backline, Wukong, Inferno Bomb, Camille ultimate, you just can't really play.
I love that you mentioned that, because look at what Rush is building. First item,
fantastic.
Guardian Angel, exactly as you mentioned. He wants to go to the backline, he wants to dive in. He has one jump. He can go into Stasis after. It doesn't matter. He's going to be able to go in. Treble, on the other hand, has gone for the Yomu's Ghostblade. He's looking to take things into his own hands. He wants to be the playmaker, wants to be the damage source. But with this Camille on the enemy team, I think that's going to be a little bit difficult.
It is going to be a bit difficult, but I think if you're playing a Lee Sin, you should just be a Chad. Don't go for something like a Black Cleaver, don't go for something like a GA. You pick Lee Sin, double down, go all in, one-shot someone with your Ghost Blade.
And a much slower game than usual. Team Secret and Sengoku both love to take these early fights, so the fact is we haven't seen a single kill happen yet. Taking their time to make sure that everything's set up right.
Huskers?
They start the fight off. Hashtag automated locks them within that cage, but that's the damage that you expect to see from the Camille, but Hermes is there to back them up. That's first blood right as we call it.
I think we might have missed it, but his hook shot seems to have been used somewhere. A bit of trouble for TS though.
Dejiru comes in, forces the engage, gets a flash knockup. Azaz in a lot of trouble, gets picked up. It's going to go over to the cow. Team Secret maybe looking for a re-engage. Rush gets baited in for a little bit, but he has that GA.
Yeah, and look at the damage coming in from Trevor as well as Hermes. With the Rod of the Ages, the Janna is going to do some damage. Nice pickoff.
Cole does a good job along with Chewy in the mid lane to find something there, and looking like they're going to pick up first turret in the mid side as well.
Very possible they have to Rift Herald, but keep in mind that is on Rush. He's not in position right now. So
Not for Sengoku, for Team Secret. Look at how low that turret is.
Well, that is true, but you got to keep in mind as well, this turret could be sitting on 5 HP, and
then
Ziggs
Ziggs
can just wave clear for days, and you still just can't even touch it. So let's break down a little bit about what was happening in the last couple of minutes, right? From Secret, they go for a very nice play onto Mochi. They find the pickoff. Just as you said, we're seeing a bit of a slow game, but I want to go a bit into the mindset between these two players right now. Hold that thought though, we're going to go into actually like really simple stuff. You get a nice little setup, get on top of things, try to dodge out, the ultimate. Bomb could have been a bit better, could have been a bit earlier. Might have killed Treble though.
See, that's the thing though, if Treble was held in the Hextech automated, if Mochi didn't walk out of it, there was a good chance that he would have just died. There would have been a 1-for-1 trade, but because he tried to build space and Hermes was there to cut him off, Mochi ended up going down 1-for-0 against Team Secret.
Yeah, that's exactly the case here. You do see both objectives starting to spawn off. We see Azar rotating in. Mochi's a little bit late, but he's going to be coming as well. It seems like both of these teams, they don't want to give this up. They're saying we're ready to fight.
It's Second Dragon, it's the Inferno. And which team doesn't love to see the Inferno spawn up? I can't give you a single one, not in this competition.
Who doesn't like damage, Grandin?
Who doesn't like damage? Well, Team Secret are going to try and control the waves, but I love the way that Sengoku have set up the map state. Top lane is frozen, mid lane shoved into it. Secret, who've just broken that push.
Starting off the Rift Herald. He's soloing this one out. While everyone is doing the song and dance, he sneaks a Rift Herald for himself. And if he picks that up, if that goes into his pocket...
It does.
There we go. It's going to be a very big red flag for Sengoku. It's a bit of a timer taking for them. Regardless of what they do on the map right now, they always have to be aware. Give Azar 10 seconds in a side lane with the Rift Herald. He's going to take 2 turrets.
Seju loses so much health while just positioning around. He's going to go for the engage here, looking for damage on the treble, maybe take down the jungler early on. Looks like that will be the case, but that's the stasis on his end, buying them some time. Hermes comes in clutch of the monsoon. Chewy comes in for the flank, takes down one. The second fall is going to be Mochi and Team Secret. They get back into the game, pull things back into their own tempo, and come up with a bunch of kills.
And what can we say here? 3-0 for the side of Team Secret. They try to pull the trigger on the side of Sengoku, but they lost the play too hard. Rift Herald mid 2, they pick up mid turret, they pick up 3 kills. Now let's look at this engage. The X replay coming in. Dashwood forces this play so hard. Headbutt, Protobell, everything to get up the Trevor. You gotta keep in mind. Step, Johnny is out. He has the stasis, he's gonna keep safe. Mass comes in, knocks everyone away. You're not gonna kill my jungler. He heals him up as well for good measure. While this is going on, Rift out in the mid lane, getting Azar some creeps as well as getting him the turret.
It's basically Treble coming in and saying, Rush, you may have Guardian Angel, but I have Hourglass. We are not the same.
We are not the same, it's exactly true. You don't have to die to proc your GA. And you gotta keep in mind, Rush's GA got procced as well. It's not the best situation to use it in.
It's a big loss.
Stone Play too. He's gonna be very tanky, and he has one jump, that's what we talked about. But the damage really needs to be coming through from the Ziggs, from the Cocky. Cocky's gonna take their time to scale. But Ziggs as a roller, he's gonna be beefy, sure, but as a Ziggs, is that really what you want? Would you not rather have Ludens be able to wave clear, have more damage from greater range?
But Huck at least kind of acknowledges that. I think he's going for the Rabadons now, so he's saying that I might not have Ludens.
He's like, crap, I don't have damage.
I don't have
now.
damage. I need something else. Okay, Death Cap. Right.
Yeah.
You know, so at least having something to match that. But the fact is, they still have a good amount of wave clear. They still have the Ziggs. They still have the Corki together.
They can
should
turtle,
be able
they
to
can
hold on
stall.
and turtle exactly.
Yes, but then that comes down to the question. If you're trying to turtle, if you're trying to stall, you better be able to outscale. Or at least you better be able to have significant power spikes where you can take fights. Now, I don't think that's the case now, given the current game state. Look at Azar. 2 items compared to Mochi, sitting at 1 item, 3,000 gold down. Once again, this man, he's been kind of put on the spot. He's been put in a trial by fire yet again, getting hard counted by Azar, one of the best Baron laners here at this tournament. I don't envy Mochi.
Absolutely not. Especially not as Azar starts picking up more items. That's
Yeah,
the bit of the
it's
Groove
not
King.
fun. I can tell you this matchup is not fun.
It's so painful for Sengoku's side because now they have to invest way more to make sure that Mochi's going to be safe.
Unplayable. He pops
Counter-strike
barrier.
instantly. Pops
You
barrier.
can't do anything. It's really depressing to watch at this stage of the game. Oh, here we go.
Nice pick up against Dejuo. A little bit difficult to take him down. Still is very tanky. They are trying to buy some time. Rush comes in. Flaps out of the way for the shockwave. A little bit more damage from Sengoku. It's parting gift, but Team Secret just get to walk off.
Look at this. Look,
He's on the turret. Doesn't care. He gets the turret at the time, too.
Look, Grandad, I just don't even want to look at the Baron Lane matchup right now. It's just really sad. Once Jax gets 2 items, as a Camille, what can you really do?
So what happens? Do they have to ban it away? Do they have to change something here? They already spent all the bans on the other powerful Baron laners. It doesn't seem to be the response. Dejuo comes in. Hermes, Monsoon instantly cancelled.
Hermes buffered the tornado there. So okay, let's break that down because that was a really cool little interaction between both players. Dejuo tried to go for the flash headbutt buffer, but Hermes got the tornado ready. So he got knocked up, but he didn't allow Dejuo to follow up the headbutt back into his team. Really nice stuff there, really making use of the Janna mechanics, and that's why it's one of his specialist picks.
I feel like you might be overreading it a little
No,
bit.
it's exactly it.
They had the vision there.
He was ready to go, yeah, exactly.
They had the vision there, but I feel like he was going to try and use it to build space. Probably wasn't expecting Dejuo to
We're here to
commit
build
so
up
bad.
players, Grandin. We're here to build them up, not tear them down.
Hermes, you're insane, you're a monster. I don't ever want to see you in my games because I'm going to lose. But I want to see you take this game with Sengoku. Right now, things are looking in TS's favor. What does Sengoku have to try and do if they want to get back in?
Look, it's going to be really difficult. I think their only win condition at this point is going to be the Corki scaling. It's going to be the Ziggs scaling. But look at the way Team Secret is deploying the map right now. You have Trevor on a side lane. You have Azar on a side lane, playing 1v1. So if you're Sengoku and you start running drops, can we kill them on a side lane? No, we can't. Because Jax is in. They're mobile. They have disengage spells. Alright, next up. Can we kill them on mid lane? No, we can't because they have a Janna. So what do we really do here, Sengoku?
Team Secret get to keep scaling up, looking at the 3rd dragon of the game here potentially. Code coming in for TS has been an interesting change. He has been quite active and participating in a lot of these fights.
Oh, here we go.
Different dynamic. Because not
Dejuo?
kill potential. Well, Dejuo's gonna get caught out. Has to unchained by some time. Valkyrie kind of leads the charge in. Instead, he leads Treble into a kill for himself. Nice use of the Corrupting Chains. Rush is going to have to get away. Has Guardian Angel back up. Hawk falls as that's yet another player from Sengoku dead. Rush is only going to be able to buy a fraction of a second as the rest of Team Secret collapse. And that's 3 and Azar just pushing in the mid wave.
Absolutely nothing the Sengoku can do right now. Mochi, the last man standing, he can't even match Azar, but he has 5 members of TS coming in.
Azar finishes him off, and that's going to be Team Secret taking game number 1 against Sengoku.
And Grandin, that was a statement win here. I said the early game from Sengoku went about as good as they could have possibly asked for. It doesn't matter. When you get to the team fights, when you get to the mid game, Team Secret, they are showing off why they are one of the favorites here in Group B. And I'm just going full bias caster right now. I'm going full SEA pride. Team Secret, they are gonna redeem our region, and that was an amazing performance, amazing statement from them.
And Group B, looking as competitive as it is, it was going to come down to the question, Team Secret versus Sengoku Gaming. What does Sengoku have in store? Because we saw them play an amazing set up against TT as well, right? We were able to put up a very competitive performance. Team Secret the same. Is the gap actually as big as it is, or is it just a matter of them not being as aligned with how to play the game?
Well, I don't want to put anyone on the spot here, right? But I think one of the first changes they have to make is they need to bring Kai back in. I don't know if you guys can read the words, but this is Southeast Asia right here. I'm just going full bias caster. Doesn't matter anymore. Team Secret, we're going to win it all. Back to the point about Sengoku. I think Kai coming back in is the first step they need to take.
So Kai coming back in and being able to hold down Azar, do you feel like that also means they have to invest heavy resources to make sure their Baron lane, including just the draft phase, all the bans to make sure the Baron lane doesn't get its options?
Well, you obviously can't ban Jax because there's too many bans available. You just need to play around it better. Honestly, in this game, I think the draft from Team Secret went about as perfect as they could have asked for. I don't think they could have taken a better draft gap in that game. And Sengoku, they really need to reassess their priorities coming up here against Team Secret.
Well, Sengoku are back to the drawing board. They still have a chance to reverse the series, to break down that match, and to look forward to what we have going into the future. Let's toss it back over to the State Farm analyst desk.
Thank you very much, Grandin. And look at that, you and TJ. Blue suit top, white shirt, looking fresh. Both of y'all taking the same
And what's
page.
incredible is we're equally well muscled.
Yes, that. Araki, let's get into the game here. I know that something you wanted to do was hop into the draft just real quick before we take a look at some of the highlights.
Yeah, I mean, I wanted to talk about how Jax can take over the game if he's not shut down early, and how that ties into the impact that Rush had now that he is being focused in draft. They took away his Nunu, they took away his Lee Sin, and on the Wukong, he was having good team fights and good ultimates, but there was no early lane assistance to his laners and helping them shut down the Jax and also snowball the mid lane.
I will say, though, a lot of what happens normally is that Sengoku get away with this sort of draft because they have Rush and Hawk able to ensure a very early gold lead. And I think there was a whole lot of very good work that Team Secret did during the first moments of this game to ensure that there were none of those early mid-jungle duo ganks that ensure such a massive gold lead, usually for Hawk. And then we get to these team fights during the late game where Sengoku are like, all right, we're ready to team fight, but Hawk's not got big damage, Rush doesn't have the gold advantage they normally have, and the compositional disadvantages that they normally have on paper and get away with are suddenly given them paper cuts.
Yeah, I just don't know how Sengoku's comp is supposed to win unless you get in a position where you're able to siege down turrets, and then at that point the Ziggs and the Quirky Poke would come through and be an impact. But unless that becomes a situation, forcing fights onto the Varus, onto the Janna, onto the Orianna with a pick like Alistar is really difficult, and you simply do not have any answers for the Jax.
So, TJ, question for you then, because I know that you'd like to steer clear of the draft and want to talk about the play styles and what happened in the game. We had two substitutes come on in. Code coming in for Tatsuri. How did he do?
I thought he did pretty well. I think there was a lot of really good insurance to, again, prevent those dives from going on. But at the end of the day, he was playing into one of the most aggressive mid-jungle duos in the entire tournament, and he held his own. He played the Orianna at a distance. He contributed to the team fights. Yes, on a safe pick, but he was able to survive the pressure and come through with a win with several assists in the backline of these fights for Team Secret.
And so the other question is, the other side of the coin, the other substitute that came on in, Mochi, Araki, how would you grade him?
Not very highly. I don't think he was able to hold down Azar, but it also wasn't entirely due to his fault. I think the matchup is not very playable with the Camille into the Jax. I think it was part of why Sengoku did initiate a lane swap. It's both to avoid the Varus Janna lane, but also to avoid the Camille into the Jax 1v1. It helped him get through the early game. As we saw, the early game was rather passive. Almost nothing happened, right? But eventually the Jax did scale, and Machi was not able to hold down Azar.
Well, again, for the second game in a row, Kai coming back on in for Mochi, who, again, gets the start after Kai looked good in the first series. Sengoku getting their Baron laners some games there, DJ.
And I have a theory about this.
Okay.
Here's the thing about Kai. He really only plays weak side. And he's very good at it. He pulls out the Renekton, the Darius, that sort of champion, and he doesn't lose lane. And he stays there and he holds strong and nobody builds huge gold advantages off of him. But this is a meta and a tournament in which there is so much emphasis on the top lane that they are really trying to make Mochi work. They are trying to bring in a top laner who is willing to play things like Camille. And I suspect for the rest of the tournament, every time Sengoku think they can get away with it, they're going to bring him in for game one. See if this time they can start working out that synergy that's going to give them a proactive carry option in the top line.
Well, speaking of proactive carry options, it's time for our State Farm Assist of the Day. Impressive play here by all of Team Secret, specifically Azar here on the Jax.
I mean, it's a good team fight for Team Secret, but if you watch Azur, he does something that is very critical when you're playing against somebody like Hawk. He jumps in and he forces him back behind the turret. This entire team fight, Hawk not throwing out bombs because Azur's zoning him. And Azur even needs to burn the flash behind his turret to stay alive.
Yeah, that huge little decision-making piece there let the rest of Team Secret clean things up. So quick double checks in. Kai coming on in. We're not sure if Code and Tatsuri are changing out, so we assume Code's there. You still feeling confident about Team Secret in this one?
I mean, it is, these are still big shoes to fill. I think it would be disingenuous to say that Code played as well as Tatsuri did this tournament. So I still need to see more from Code in order to prove that this isn't a disadvantage for Team Secret. But they did win the late game team fights, and Sengoku opted into them. So as long as Sengoku are waiting for the late game, playing quiet early, and going for the team fights, I'm going to favor Team Secret.
I'm going to go ahead and disagree. I think Code actually played perfectly to the role that he was given in that game. It's a really pivotal role as well with the Orianna, because you just want to hold down the mid lane to the point that you allow the Jax to scale and become a threat on the side lane. It's something that you need when you have a split pusher. You need someone who can wave clear from a distance with ease so that they're not under too much threat and that they're not randomly caught out. And Code did play that role really perfectly. Never was caught out. He was consistently performing in the team fight. So I'm honestly really impressed with this big question mark going into the series in the form of a substitution mid lane.
Well, we have another assist, and it goes to the most skilled person with the ladder I've ever seen. This is in the backstage over at Singapore. What? TJ, look at this.
He's moving!
He's Stilton.
Dagon, this is tech! That's one of the most insane things I've ever seen a human being do. And I cast esports, so that's a very high bar.
Fun fact, that was actually Grandin, who's standing by with Omo to get us into the next game. Guys, take it away.
I feel like that's fake news, Dagon, but thank you for thinking that I could do something like that with a ladder. I can't even climb the solo queue ladder. I don't think I could do that with a physical ladder. But here we go. It's Sengoku, Team Secret, game number 2. And I think a lot of questions were answered after the last game, Omo.
Yeah, well, the biggest question I want to answer is what's the roster going to be like for the next game? What are we going to see in terms of draft? Before we even talk about anything game-related, I think the preparation and the planning going into the game is going to be what divides these two teams.
Such a holistic view, overall mindset. Surely coming from a coach that, you know,
Exactly.
had that all-star jacket, right? And with that in mind, you know, Team Secret coming into this,
Yeah.
with the substitution, does this change things for you? Because Code had a good performance,
He
but
did.
is this because Sengoku weren't coming in with 100%? The fact they were coming in with Mochi, did that change things enough?
Well, I mean, sure, it's not the 100%, but it's still something like an 80%, 90%. So it's still not a bad look for Sengoku. But the problem is Team Secret looked like they completely outclassed them last game. And what my theory is for Code, I might be completely wrong, so please do not quote me on this, is that Team Secret, they want to develop separate strategies. Now, when you see Tatsuri come in, what are you used to seeing him play? Zat, Diana, champions like that, assassins, flashy champions, Katarina. Now, with Code coming in, if the pattern holds true, I expect them to develop him in a more of a control mage role, to allow his side lanes, his jungler, to shine even brighter than they already are. So I'm quite curious to see the draft coming in from TS, and I was wrong. Sengoku just banned Jax.
Well, they're gonna ban away the Jax. I guess they just don't have a good response for that. And Team Secret, you frankly don't need another carry. You already have this man, Azar.
Yep.
You saw what he could do.
Too many carries. Your support is a carry.
Oh my goodness, you're absolutely right. Too many of them. The mechanics are absolutely insane. Code coming in here is here to fill in that stable position. Be that wave here, like Iraqi's already mentioned. Being able to make sure that they're safe without being caught out. And so Sengoku going to start things off once again with the Ziggs.
Yeah, the Ziggs is a big pickup. I feel like the Ziggs was not the problem with the last game. He did everything he had to do. My only criticism, maybe change up your item build a bit. Maybe you need a bit more damage. But the Ziggs was fine. What I would like to see here for Sengoku is you throw the Ziggs into the bottom lane, match him up against the Varus. I think that's a bit more favorable matchup. And both of these teams, it looks like we're seeing a bit of a run back just with the Jax removed. Won't be surprised to see a Camille come through right now.
Initial pickups, very similar to what we saw before, and that's because Team Secret like being the team to take the initiative. What Sengoku are trying to do with the Ziggs is deny a lot of action happening. Like you mentioned, the Camille coming in again is there to assist the Ziggs and things they can get done. Have that hook shot as an easy escape against a lot of aggression.
I would like to see the Graves come true right here. I think the Wukong was not it. It was clear to me that Team Secret had a very distinct answer to both the Alistair and the Wukong in the form of the Janna. Now, if you want to double down, pick up the Alistair again, I don't think you are able to go for the Wukong. I think you have to go for something like the Graves, and that also allows you to throw your Ziggs into the Dragon Lane, so you don't have to worry about picking something like Koki and worry so much about scaling.
Deju definitely felt a lot of pressure that last game, had a lot of moments where he was forcing an engage from Mez, read him really well. This is what's happened. The Janna has been kind of come in as that tech, right? To nullify,
it's a Hames special.
It's the Hames special to nullify hard engage that Sengoku and teams like Sengoku have been trying to draft for.
Yeah, I think that's a really great pickup. It's a really great pocket pick, and teams that want to play champions like this Alistair, they're always going to be aware of it. They're always going to have to be concerned of it. TS, no changes at all. Sengoku, exact same draft, we're running it back. I just want to see the bottom lane picks and the jungler changed up here for Sengoku.
Feels like,
yeah, go ahead.
Feels like it's really just going to be a case of Kai coming in, playing this and piloting this Camille. That might be all the difference they need to say the draft was not the issue. It's still within our realm of preparation.
So they're saying player gap.
That's
what I'm hearing here.
I don't think that's the appropriate way to put it. I just think that they think, well, now with this Graves as well.
So much better. The Graves does so much better here because he's a champion that's not as worried about the Janna. He gives you a marksman. That allows your mid lane pick to be a lot more flexible. You're free to counterpick the Orianna. Please counterpick the Orianna. This is a champion which should be punished. Something like a Diana would be fine. Maybe an Akali, maybe a Zed. Yasuo. I mean, theoretically it's fine, but the problem is you're reliant on the Alistair engage. And he can't engage!
He's gonna help scale Sengoku's composition a little bit more, but Yasuo being one of those champions with a very low win rate so far in the Horizon
It's kind
Cup.
of a flex pick. You pick it when you say, I'm gonna come and flex with some kids today.
But up against Cole, who has been that safer player, who isn't gonna look to solo queue necessarily unless the opportunity presents itself, against someone like Tatsuri, you could see much more action in the mid lane happening. But now with Team Secret locking in the Darius, I think just reaffirms the point. Forget the Orianna. Cole's just going to do his thing. He's going to clear those waves out. He's going to make sure that Azar's going to be safe. But overall, get that Darius online.
Yeah, granted, I don't know how I feel about this draft here from TS. The reason the draft worked so well in the last game was because they had a strong point to attack. The rest of the map would just be stable, would just play safe, and Azar would take over the game. With Darius, you don't have that option. And I love the Graves pivot. I love the Ziggs bot pivot. I just worry that the Yasuo might have a bit of an issue scaling up. But if he gets to 1 item, 2 items, I think team fights are going to go handily in favor of Sengoku gaming here.
But what do you prefer to see from Team Secret?
Yeah, everything is banned. Right?
Everything is already banned out. The most I could see is maybe get that Zed instead of the Orianna earlier on.
My suggestion here would be, if I was Team Secret's coach and I was drafting this game, I wouldn't pick Orianna on 4 because all the carries are already banned away. You have no carry top left to pick. You know you're going to play the Darius. So just pick the Darius on 4, counter pick your mid on 5. That would have been, I think, a much better situation for TS to be in. This comp still works, don't get me wrong. It works. It's just very one-dimensional.
Well, in the battle and the race for second seed in Group B, Team Secret and Sengoku Gaming both vying that spot. Slightly easier matchup. They're hoping when they get into that knockout stage. But as we look at the compositions, let's run things through one more time, Momo. Where do you think the points of power lie for both these compositions?
All right, on the side of Sengoku, Yasuo, he's in the game. He's always going to be a point of focus.
0-10 power spike?
0-10 power spike is not ideal here for Sengoku.
10-0.
10-0 power spike is much more ideal. Now you need to of course pay attention to the Camille as well. Darius can come out on top in the laning phase there. And of course when you have a Graves in the game, he's going to be a marksman. He's going to do burst, DPS, lifesteal, tank, does it all. So these 3 champions you really have to look out for. If any one of them gets going here for Sengoku, they can take over the game. On the side of Team Secret, Hamas, once again, he needs to stop the engages, needs to stop Camille, needs to stop Alistair, and that's all the more important in this game, because if Alistair gets on your backline, Yasuo's coming with him.
I feel like that win wall is actually going to hamper a lot of the effects that Team Secret have and kind of drafted for. You know, the tornado's going to get blocked out. A number of spells going to get blocked out as well. Well, let's get things started. Sengoku up against Team Secret. Team Secret lead the race with 1 point in this series. Moving as a 5-man unit. They find a catch on to rush the Zephyrs. Going to slow him enough for a little bit more damage, but they're going to walk away.
This is a rough spot to be in for Russia. Two reasons. Firstly, when you're playing this matchup, you cannot allow Lee Sin to get on top of you. Not having your flash means that that's one less tool in your pocket to keep Lee Sin at arm's length. So Russia has to play all the more careful here. Losing health is okay, because as Graves, you don't really take damage in the jungle. This is a rough spot. Level 1 Janna coming in, igniting you.
Hermes with the damage that was going to come in clutch to make sure that he's safe. Hermes to get caught out. Might not have the best chance to get away. Raptor's going to be there, available for Hawk with a little bit more damage. The flash committed to take down this Janna. The final tornado for first blood.
A little bit greedy there for Hermes. I think he might have gotten into his own head a little bit, feeling himself a bit too much. The point still stands. He was this close to solo killing Rush. Ultimately, unable to do so. But I think the main thing here, first blood going to Hawk.
What does this mean for Chewy though? Because you saw what happened. Deju comes back in the lane, forces the flash right away, and now Ferris is susceptible to a gank.
Ferris is susceptible to a gank. The problem is it's hard for them to get on top of him. Well, I say that, but I might be cursing this right now.
Now back towards the river. You see Rush
flash
coming in now. Good amount of damage available for them, especially with that central charge. Knocks Hermes back, and it's looking like 2 quick kills over the Sengoku.
Wait, is he not dead? There's no way.
Absolutely is dead. Treble comes in now, looking to execute down one. The berry comes out, but it's a little bit too early. The Sonic Wave is enough, and they handle the kill over the Code.
Okay, I think if you're Team Secret, you can be pretty happy with this. You lose Chewy, but you trade back 2 kills. One going to Code, one going to Trapper.
You lose Hermes. Not even Chewy.
Yeah, you lose Hermes. True, that's true. It's not even Chewy. Chewy's still here farming. He crashes the wave. It's looking not too bad for Team Secret, especially considering that they lost the support at level 1. Could be a lot worse, and I think getting some gold into the pockets of Cole is going to be really helpful here, because he needs items to survive this Yasuo. He cannot fall behind, because if you do, Yasuo's going to take over this mid lane.
Look at what Hermes is doing. He went to the mid lane, crashed the whole held the entire way, prevented it from being crashed.
You love to see it.
You love to see it, and then Cole comes back, farms up a storm. Suddenly, he's back and matched in gold with the Yasuo. I mean, that's just amazing teamwork coordination from this side. Let's look at that replay again towards this spot.
Yeah, the X replay, I'm surprised Hermes survived this long. Flash, auto attack, the aim didn't even take him down. And one, being forced to commit his flash means we can work here for CS. Oh, sorry, yeah, for Team Secret.
Bot lane, scuffle again. Hermes loses a lot of health quickly. Deju looking for this confirmed kill. Hermes turns around to try an auto attack, but dies instead. Treble here to clean things up. Sonic Wave comes across.
Nice.
The satchel charge with the layered CC. The kick is going to put Deju back under turret.
Wow, brilliant play from Wanda. That was picture perfect. He timed the satchel charge so perfectly. He knocked Trevor out of the resonate strike, and the follow-up there from Deju just drew everything off. He forced the Dragon's Rage as well, and he couldn't find the kill. Now, I'm quite curious about what happened right here. Hermes, I think he might have slipped up, might have not been able to cancel the ally engage. And as with all engaged spots, with combo 6, versus this play here, picture perfect. One and Deju, I think they're doing an amazing job of just playing their role.
I think I know what this is, Omo.
Yeah.
Did you see Team Secret early on? Chewy had his finger sleeves on. I don't think I saw any on Hermes.
That's the problem, I think. The gamer mode wasn't quite activated yet.
Not quite.
Not fully.
Not fully. Never run a slip again. Well, we still see so much action happening. This is such a far cry from the match that we saw earlier on. Yeah, both sides willing to take these fights, willing to take some action against the opponent team. Azad does a good job of holding his own. Goes right over the wall with the flash, collateral damage, misses out the chance for the kill. Team Secret's gonna play across the map, exchange, grab his dragon in that meantime.
But this is so much tempo for Team Secret. They should be able to secure this one. But that is the thing. 1 on the 6, he secures so much space, so much timing, he chunks out Trevor so much that Team Secret, despite their tempo lead, they cannot contest the Wreck out. And this is gonna be huge. You have a point to attack. You can attack both the Yasuo lane and the Camille lane. So with this Rift Herald, Sengoku, now this game, they have options.
You say that, but the Yasuo's actually gone to the bottom side.
You can attack the bottom side.
Trevor's looking for something here. They're waiting out the wind wall, making sure that that's going to be down. Chewy is available. That tornado and the wave being cleared out means it's a little bit too risky to try and come in for a dive.
Yeah, like what Huck is doing here. He's playing it to the limits. He's not afraid to clear the wave because he knows he can win wall everything from Varus. He's not afraid of anything.
Except he just used it. They timed out the wind wall.
That is true. That is true. They did time out the win wall, but you know, Huck is still willing to play on knife's edge there, and you gotta respect that. I think that's perfectly fine.
Absolutely.
Something that we need to touch on though is purely in isolation. Azar has gotten himself a 1,000-goal lead. No interference whatsoever.
There we go. Some way, one way or another, Azar's just going to come up with a goal lead, despite the fact there was some pressure being placed on him.
Actually, I was wrong. It's not no interference. There was interference. But for Sengoku, they blew Azar's flash barrier, and he still wins the trades. He's still getting leads for himself. Amazing performance here from this man. He needs to be playing well if Team Secret want to have success here.
That proto belt's going to help him as well. It's going to help his case, especially as he looks to try to get engaged. Where Team Secret only really have Trevor to fight a pick off, you also have Azar coming in to assist in that position, so it's not going to be the single effort of Trevor.
Nice little proto belt there from Dashwool, getting him out of dodge. What I like, I was like, okay. I don't really know what happened there. I think he got kicked out under tower again. It's a bit of deja vu, actually. It might be Kai instead of Mochi this time, and it might be Darius instead of Jax. But still, Trevor coming from behind the turret. Dragon's Reach kicks you out, gets a nice little kill for Azar.
It's textbook play. It's textbook play.
Textbook play, yeah. Very good stuff. You get the first turret of the game as well, despite Sengoku picking up the Drift Arrow. It's all looking up here for the Secret. Very good stuff.
The saving grace for Sengoku is the fact that they have the means to break open that mid turret. Once you get one close enough, he's going to be able to finish it off. Deju's looking for an engage here. They're going to use that to get the jump onto Hermes. Nice knock up of the Monsoon, pushes it back towards Chewy. Good amount of damage coming through. They take down Hermes first, flash away from Chewy. The rest of the team coming in. The cavalry is here to support Trevor once again. I've seen this one before, but Team Secret, they back off.
But Grandin, this is still, I would say, a win for Team Secret because they bring Kai down. Because of that, Azar gets some free time for himself. He gets a tempo lead. He gets himself some space on the map. He gets himself a 1,000-goal lead. And Team Secret, despite losing Mass, I think this is one of those situations you just have to say worth.
Absolutely worth, I think. Take a look back to it, what happened there. This is what you were talking about, right? This is what you wanted to see.
Yeah, but the X replay shows us that Kai was already so low. That was picture perfect, super clean there from Trevor. But keep in mind, this was all set up by Azar.
Well, Azar's been caught out now, so this could be the punish that Sengoku were looking for to take down the Darius.
Yeah.
And that's the first of many, hopefully, for this team.
Yeah, I mean, I think Hawk is doing a very good job right now. He has the fancy space gliding across the board now.
Hermes.
I told you, Hermes is a carry. You don't need another carry on Team Secret. Support is also a carry.
He's straight up 1v1ing Kaya says, hey, do whatever
really
you want,
funny.
I'm gonna come for you.
Oh, okay, you know what? I cast this curse a bit. I thought he was gonna reset. He did it. I'm not gonna touch it.
Alright, that didn't happen. Sengoku and Team Secret trade bot and top halves. But with the Dragon spawning up in 16 seconds, Riptile in 24. It seems like Team Secret actually have the advantage because they get to finish off the Dragon and then go straight to the Riptile.
Well, there's just no winning for Sengoku, is there? You kill Azar, but they do one better. They take down Kai before objective spawn as well. What's there to say about this? Azar is just a raid boss. Ban away his Jax, ban away his Fiora. He's gonna solo kill you on Darius.
What happened? You said something about Darius not being strong enough. You had a point of play towards. I think you forgot who was piloting the champion.
That's the thing. They didn't play towards the Darius. He's doing this all by himself.
Somehow making things happen. He's making magic happen. That's the Team Secret special.
Oh boy, and
nothing they can do. They can stop this. It's just going to be Azar coming in big. Rush loses a lot of health quickly, sets himself up to be killed, but Team Secret get blocked by that bomb.
Yeah, it's just a desperation play from Rush. I think if you are in a better game state, he would not try to make that play. More desperation cutting in. No hextech ultimatum. Why are you trying to pause this play? Just get stopped and distracted. Kai is desperate to make something happen right now. Rush is desperate to make something happen. Dashwool, they're all desperate. They need to make a play.
They're right around the Rift Tower. Trevor's gone in. It's still going to go over to Rush, but the fight looks like it's going over to Team Secret. That's the shockwave coming through from Cole, but not enough damage to finish off the Alistar. Dashwool building a good amount of space for the rest of his team. Chewy trying to pick a priority target, but it's difficult. There's nothing right in front of him. Hawk's going to be there. Gets taken down by Trevor, who's come back in for the fight. Chewy flashes aggressively. They're right in his face, and Rush finally goes down.
That's a bit of a horror movie scene when you see an Orianna and a Varus flash on your face and auto attack you to death. It's not a spot I would want to be in.
It's the Spoon Killer.
It really is the Spoon Killer, but it worked. They take down Rush, they don't get the Rift Herald, and they did lose Azar. It's not the best case scenario for Team Secret, but they do get the tier 1 turret. Now there's a bit of standing gold left on the map here for Sengoku. They're gonna pump the Herald mid, trade back a bit of gold on the mid tier 1 turret. But still, Team Secret, they will still maintain about a 5,000 gold lead despite all of this happening. And a lot of that lead is in the pocket of Azar. Exactly where you want it.
Let's take a look back at this replay to see how that kind of started, because Team Secret, I feel like Zad does such a good job buying so much time for his team. And the entire time, Chewy wasn't able to get a good amount of damage off. It was only towards the tail end of that fight before he was really relevant.
Yeah, I mean, the problem there was that one is kind of out of position, so Chewy as well as Kobe just focused on one. Unfortunately, he had Flash to get out of there. Azar, he went a bit too aggressive because he didn't realize he was on the same page. They do get punished a bit, but still, I think Team Secret will come up with how it's going. Another kick finds him.
What happens here? The Hextech Ultimatum is going to buy a little bit of time for Kai, but he still goes down. Yeah, just about 2 seconds all in all.
Oh, Hamas.
They're looking for a re-engage here. Beautiful timing in the Monsoon as they are now looking for a fight of their own. Azar comes in, Shockwave on 2 over by the side. That's Treble coming in to finish off 1. And the rest of Sengoku can only watch as there's a killing spree available for Code. Coming into the Horizon Cup. Not much you could expect from this guy, but he shows just why you have to respect him.
This is why, back home in the Sea Champs, back home in SEA, we call Team Secret the Team Fight Kings, the Comeback Kings, the Miracle Workers. Look at how crisp that team fight was for them. Starts off with them finding an amazing pick on Takai. Hamas, he might have mistimed the Tornado, but he had the Monsoon, and that's all he needed. Brilliant shockwave from Cold, and brilliant follow-up from Trevor.
But that's the thing, Sengoku have been such an amazing fighting team. They love to go for these quick engages, find a pick-up, and keep things going. What's happened here?
Well, that's the problem. You want to find engagements. It's exactly what you said. But against the Janna, against the Kite back calm from the Orianna, from the Varus, you just can't find an engage. You're just getting roughed by this Janna. The Alistar to Janna does not work. You've tried it both times now, Sengoku. It's time to let that one rest.
But hope is not lost for Sengoku fans because they still have this Graves Yasuo. I mean, I don't think it can be stated enough just how scary and how deadly they are if they get to the late game.
There's one thing that could happen. Hamas takes his hands off his phone to rub his eyes because they're a bit itchy right now. He's rubbing his eyes, doesn't see the Alistar come in, and he knocks up 5.
Okay.
Then you get a 5-man Yasuo knockup.
5 lateral damage?
Yeah, that's what could happen. But looking at the game state, it's just not going to happen.
Well, it seems like Deji was going to go down while we were having a highly speculative conversation.
We got to explore all scenarios here, right?
And that is our job.
That is our job.
Well, Rip Arrow popped by Sengoku's side.
What if?
It seems as if they have to use this because it's been timing out.
It is timing out. They have to stop it. But
And so just having to commit for this, but the wave is not in an ideal position at all to make something happen.
yeah, Shelly is in a tough spot right now. Hamas does not have one super.
Try to force an engage. That's a kick away to make sure they have the space to get out. Hug! Oh my goodness, what a catch, what a pickup. Rush is going to be dead. That's a flash in with a hook shot, but not enough damage to finish off the kill. Trevor, on the other hand, he is a monster in this jungle. One's going to go down and looks like a repeat. Team Secret doing such an amazing job. 13 minutes into the game, going into the base.
No, not the fastest game. They don't have a minion wave. I just want to see a fastest game here.
Not by a long shot, Omo. 13 minutes, that's not even close to what we saw before. In that 11-minute, 25-second, I think that was our fastest game. Team Secret's going to use this opportunity to get the in-hit and back off.
They're going to back off and they're going to race to the bottom lane right now. Will they get there before Shelly hits the tier 1 turret?
Protect the turret!
They're not going to get there
Tower
in time.
defense!
Someone buy a teleport, please! You cannot let Shelly hit this. This is the minigame right now for Team Secret. It seems like
It's
they
going.
just don't care.
It's
they
going.
just want the Baron.
Absolutely. That's all that matters at this point.
We're just going to trade the Baron Asher. Well, okay, I'm a liar. Trevor's going for it. And I want to point out something very quickly right now. Look at the items on Trevor. Look at the items on Code and on Chewy. It's just, they're going to be doing a lot of damage here to say the least.
Absolutely. Well, Hamas will get caught out. That's the force engage from Hawk, but the Monsoon knocks them back. Hamas is still going to go down. One gets killed. Instead, goes over the Hawk. Just kidding. Kai comes in. Nice Hawk stack all the way to Treble. Has been out of commission for way too long. The kickback's going to miss out. Treble's not going to get much more done there. But as the front line for Sengoku start to fall apart, Team Secret come online. It's their time to shine. And that's the quadra pentakill coming through, but Chewy's taken down. No pentakill here, but Team Secret with yet another Contra.
Team Secret, Chewy not finding the pentakill. I think he'll be happy with a Quadra. We heard a bit of shouts of disappointment from the Team Secret camp, but 15 minutes in the game, Team Secret, they're gonna be marching on the Nexus, Brandon.
Right onto the Nexus and taking that 2-0 win in this series means Team Secret are locked, moving into the knockout stage.
I don't know what to tell you there. I'm very happy with the Team Secret that we saw here today. Even though they played the same comp, they played the same draft in both games, they show a change of form from the Team Secret that we see with Tatsuri. This is a more disciplined, a more measured Team Secret, playing around the mages, playing around the disengages. I'm not sure if this is gonna be a long-term strategy for them, but they sure did good to shut down Sengoku.
I love the energy from Hamesh and for the rest of Team Secret. I think TJ can sleep happy at night knowing that Southeast Asia is not out of the competition just yet.
Someone needs to tell Team Secret they're not at the promo shoot anymore. They're on stage now. It's okay, guys.
Well, but Sengoku Gaming still gave us an impressive showing. It is a little bit disappointing to say the least because we have seen just how good they can be. But with that being said, you know, they still have a good chance. Going into the future matches that they have, they still want to be able to pull away that seed.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I agree with you. Especially, they do have a chance to still qualify out of the group here.
A good chance as well.
A very solid one, but they're unlikely to be able to lock in a second seed, and that means that it's going to be a very tough call for them. They're going to be disappointed because they know in the knockout stages, they're likely to be facing a team like KT, which you really don't want to have to match up against in the first round of playoffs.
And Secret doing Southeast Asia proud. This is going to be their third win in the group stage.
And a 2-0 at that. And a 2-0. I mean, I think they're definitely going to be very happy with that one. Of course, they did drop a series to Thunder Talk Gaming earlier on in the tournament. But they're going to be very happy that they have not dropped a series yet since then. And I think that Team Secret, if they can keep up this run of form, might be the beacon of hope here for Southeast Asia.
And even again in the match against Thunder Talk, they took a game off them. And they were supposed to take another game off. But Thunder Talk, of course, still being an incredibly dominant team. We're looking forward to see what else they have in store for us and what Team Secret have in store to take them down potentially. Well, we're looking forward to see what the analysts have to say and how TJ feels about Southeast Asia confirming their place in the knockout stage. So we're going to toss it over to the State Farm analyst desk for Diego and the rest to break this one down.
Thank you very much, Big G and Omo. Great cast, and there it is. Philippines on through, Southeast Asia on through. How's it feel, TJ?
It feels great. Team Secret do exactly what I knew they could do, and I couldn't be happier to be right for once.
Yeah, well, for once.
I'm taking the wins where I could get them, Digon.
Yeah, as well, I mean, you called it, and it really played to its strength here in this game, both games here.
Yeah, I mean, one of the things that went wrong in game number one, it felt like, was that Sengoku ignored the early game and played exclusive hits in late game. Well, we know Team Secret are strong, and there was a window here at the very start of this game where you see Sengoku start to put things together. They play through their 2v2 in the middle of the map. But then, as we go on, you get to the late game, and slowly, inexorably, the Team Secret team fights arrive, and they start to do things like this.
I also love how Azar just casually was getting 1k gold advantage off screen in the laning phase, completely 1v1, even in a matchup that's he's not supposed to win. The Camille versus Darius is supposed to go about 60-40 in the favor of Camille for the early game, and then once she has Trinity, Darius cannot match her at all. So I think it was so important for Azar to show up and perform in this game because his jungler needed to help the bot side quite a lot, but then eventually when he did go to the top lane, they got one kill, they got one tower down, and the value that Azar has been able to provide to his team once and once again is really impressive.
And it felt doubly necessary this game because rather than have Tatsuri in the middle of the map being a secondary carry option, you had Code, who's playing well, but he's doing that on Orianna, who's going to be a little more passive. And so Azar's presence as this initiation tool, as this major carry in team fights, was extra needed.
Yeah, and it lets Trevor go where he wants. Now he can go to all of the lanes and not be like, all right, basically we're on the top side of the map. James, Tui, Good luck down there. Hopefully you're going to be fine. And again, with this win, they're on through, but don't forget as well, that means Sengoku, not out, but all the marbles now are tomorrow.
It's all on tomorrow. We have Team Queso also playing for that slot. It's going to come down to the wire in this group.
Well, with this win, I'm sure Riku's very happy. We're going to take a step away, but you can listen to Caitlin, Sheriff of Piltover, on the official Horizon Cup playlist during the break. Check out more music like All In on Wild Rift's profile on Spotify.
What's going on?
Jake from State Farm, the perp just confessed. I think. I don't know.
What?
Oh, can't afford streaming anymore, so here we are.
Oh, don't give up what you love. State Farm has options to personalize your policy so you get a rate that fits your budget.
Oh, that's great. The subtitles would be nice.
For surprisingly great rates that fit any budget, like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. Call or click to get a quote today.